guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to talk about the Pregmate Ovulation Kits. Maybe you're like me and you're trying to get pregnant but you don't know when you ovulate. Or maybe you're just trying to get to know your body better and you are just curious about when you ovulate and you're trying to figure out your cycles. Either way, we're going to try and figure out if maybe this test kit is right for you. So inside this test kit includes several things. You get your ovulation test strips. Each kit, there's 3 different options, has 3 different amounts of ovulation test kits, depending on how many you want, what's on your price point, or what you're looking for. Also in the test kit, which is a great bonus, is pregnancy tests. All 3 options include pregnancy tests, which is great if you're trying to get pregnant because, you're going to buy the pregnancy test anyways, so why not just get a kit that includes the pregnancy tests? Along with the kit, you get your little pamphlet on how to read your tests, both the ovulation and the pregnancy tests, because they do read a little bit different. So within this packet, it explains how to read them after you've taken them, when the right time of day is to take them, when to start taking the ovulation test during your cycle, because you're not supposed to take them the whole time, and you'd be wasting a bunch of strips if you took them every single day. In the pregnancy test, it tells you, again, when to take your test, how to read it, when the best time to test is, during your cycle, when you could potentially detect an early pregnancy. The only downside that I found is that it doesn't include a cup to be able to put the test strips into, because these are not test strips that you pee on, they are test strips that you have to dip into a cup of pee. I personally just use this little container that I've had sitting around the house. I'm not even sure how long I've had it. I just kind of washed it out because you have to test with a clean, dry, sanitary cup. Just pee right into it. Take the test strip, dip it right in, lay it flat on top. Both these tests take 5 minutes to read, to be able to read them accurately. So I just set a timer, I'll clean around in my bathroom, go pick up my son's toys, something along those lines, just to kill the 5 minutes, then come back and read it. Don't wait too long after the test. They both say in here how long you can wait to be able to read them after that certain time length. Just like any other test, do not continue to try to read them. You could get a false positive, false negative. The test will change based off of oxidization. So, I already peed in a cup, and we're going to go ahead and do a ovulation test, just that way I can show you how to read it. So there's little tabs at the top to make it super easy for you to be able to open the test. Inside of the packet comes one of these cute little test strips. So the bottom of the test strip, it does have a max line, so that's all the farther that you're supposed to dip the test in. If you dip it in any farther, it can mess with your results. The cool thing that I found is the back of the test strip does have the pink little LH part on it to be able to show you which is the side you didn't dip in the pee, because if you're like me and you're super klutzy, you'll drop these, and when they land face down, with some of the tests, you can't tell which side is the side you peed on, so you don't know which side is safe to pick up. The test side is closer to the side that you peed on, and the control line is closer to the LH side. The test line for an ovulation test has to be darker than the control line. If it is not darker, but there is still a line, it does not mean that you're ovulating. That is what makes it different than a pregnancy test. Because as you know, with a pregnancy test, if you get 2 lines, you are pregnant. With these, if you get 2 lines, that does not necessarily mean that you're ovulating. So we're going to go ahead and test this and see what happens. I haven't tested today yet, so maybe I'm going to hit the jackpot and today's going to be a day that I start ovulating. Who knows? And then I'll come back. So you just put it in the test strip. I'm not sure how well you can see this because you're sitting all the way over there. You put it in for about 3 seconds. The coloring, the dye will go up the test, and then you just lay it flat on a surface, and the dye to test will just move its way up the strip. So we'll take about 5 minutes, and I'll check back with you guys so that way I can show you how to read the test. All right, so it's been the 5 minutes since the test was taken. And as you can see, I have 2 lines, which I mean is pretty typical. But the thing is with ovulation tests is it all depends on how dark that test line is. So if your test line right here is darker than your control line, then you're ovulating or you're about to ovulate within the next 24 to 48 hours. So you know that that's about your time that you need to do your baby dance if you're trying to get pregnant. So within the kit, it does list way to tell if it's positive or if it's negative. I am going to show up here the picture of my test next to these, that way you can try and read it. I've also included a poll. Let me know whether you think that it was positive, negative, not too sure, it's a close call. Let me know if you think about it. The hardest part about these tests, and the one thing that does make them difficult, is that sometimes they can be very complicated to read, because sometimes your test line is dark enough that it looks like it's just as dark as the control line. Sometimes they're hard to read. Maybe it's just because these are the first ovulation tests that I've taken, that I'm having such a hard time reading them. You might not. The 3 different options for the Pregmate Ovulation Test Kits, since they do have the 3 different options that I have found on Amazon Prime. Your first option, which is the test kit that I went with, is the 100 ovulation test kit. It does include 20 of the pregnancy tests. The next kit down is your 50 count ovulation test kit. It also includes 20 pregnancy tests. Now the smallest kit that they offer, and it is kind of a big step down, is the 10 ovulation test kit that includes 5 pregnancy tests. So there is a bit of a difference. I will include below in the description a link to the Amazon page that does sell them, that has all 3 options on it for you. The 10 ovulation test kit costs about $10. It's like $9.95 or something like that. The 50 count ovulation test kit is, I think it's like $19, something close to there. The 100 count one, which is the one that I got, is about $23. So there is a little bit of a difference with the price points on these, but ultimately it's up to you on if you want to get one of these kits and which size you wanted to get. So maybe you just want to test it out, see if the kit's for you, so you buy a 10 count. After you get the 10 count, maybe you didn't find your ovulation day within that 10 count period, or maybe you want to track your ovulation for a couple of months to find out exactly when your cycle is if you're trying to figure it out. That you want to step it up and you want to go with a bigger test kit. There are the options out there. If you've tried a different type of ovulation kit that seems to work for you, or something that maybe you're curious about ovulation test kit wise, let me know down below in the comments which ones have worked for you, which ones didn't work for you, and which ones you're just curious about. Maybe I'll end up getting to make a video on that ovulation test kit, and I'll get that posted on here for you guys to see if maybe that's a better option. We'll compare the 2. So go ahead, like the video and subscribe. Don't forget to turn those notifications on so that way you know when I post a video. Otherwise, I will see you next week for Fertility Friday.